Welcome to another episode of the Watch Me Wholesale Show. Here's how this works. I'm going to randomly select a market, then I'm going to go into that market and find a distressed property for sale, run the numbers, and then call and make an offer. Now guys, we're going to be doing this on Propwire. If you haven't heard of Propwire, it's the nation's #1 database of distressed seller leads with over 157 million records nationwide. Best of all, it's absolutely free to search and download as much data as you want. So to get started with Propwire, just go to joinpropwire.com. And guys, if you're new here, my name is Jerry Norton. I make millions of dollars a year wholesaling and flipping houses. And here on my YouTube channel, I show you how to do the same. So if you want to be a flipping genius like me and live your dream life, subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. All right, let's go ahead and spin the wheel and choose a market. Okay, Denver, Colorado is the winner. Let's go find a deal. Okay, so I'm going to go to joinpropwire.com and I'm going to put in Denver, Colorado, and it's going to go ahead and open up that market. Under lead type, I'm going to go down and click MLS active. Under property types, I'm going to click single family, and then I'm going to do one more thing just for now. I'm going to sort this by list price. So I'll see list price right there. I'm going to click this to go from low to high. And then you'll see here that it's got a map on the left with dots showing us properties. And then on the right, it shows us different records here, right? So then we can go through and start to look at these properties and try to see what's going on. So the first thing I like to do is if I find one that I want to check out, so let me click one down here. Once it opens it up, what I want to do is I want to go first over to the owner tab and just get an idea of what's going on here. So this owner owns 4 properties. Looks like they have a couple in Commerce City here. So probably a mom and pop type of landlord because he owns them in his personal name, but he owns 3 or 4 properties here. So it doesn't look like an investor like that you would normally see, or it'd be an LLC. So very common to see this, just a small time buy and hold investor with a little portfolio. Then I go to history and I try to get my head around what's going on there. So Aurora Loan Services. So this was a bank property that this guy bought way back in 2011 when everything was a bank property back then. So he's owned this for a while. He bought it back in 2011 for $65,000. This thing's got a long history of like active pending. You could see here. And it looks like he did some loans, refinanced and stuff. He's got a loan maybe for $100,000. Okay, so it just gives me a little visibility on the owner and what's going on. Next, I'm going to go to comps here, and there's our property. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and you can see here we've got some main roads. So I try not to cross main roads, especially in a market that I don't know real well. So I'm going to go ahead and click the draw feature, and I'm going to go ahead and just pick a section here where we're going to try to stay inside these main roads. So I'd probably go right here in this section, hit enter. So now it's going to isolate all my comps to just this area right here. And this is saying that we're 736 square feet. So we're kind of a smaller home here. And yeah, I'm not sure what else going on there because that's pretty small for a 3-bedroom. Whenever I see like 730 square feet and they're calling it a 3-bedroom, first question I ask is, okay, is it on a basement? Are they counting some square footage down there? Is there a loft or something going on? Because it's really hard to get 3 bedrooms in 736 square feet. They would have to be tiny bedrooms. So that's kind of, and a second bathroom too. So that's really got me wondering, how are they getting 3 bedrooms and 2 baths? So we'll find that out, but I'm just kind of showing you that that's triggering me to think about that a little bit. But for now, let's just assume that it's 736 square feet. So I'm going to go over here to my square footage filter, and I'm probably going to put a range of 40%. And you can see here that limits me now to pretty much stuff under 1,000 square feet. And that's all I'm going to use now for a filter. And now what I do is real quickly here, I got a ton of comps. I want to go to my price per foot. So this is sold price per foot. Oh, one other thing, I've got it in 1 year. Let's go down to 6 months. I don't want to look at year-old comps. So that got rid of a lot of them. But you can see here, I got plenty of data that's, under 1,000 square feet right in my neighborhood. So this is good. Now what I want to do is I want to look at the price per foot. and I want to identify the highest sold homes per foot. So check this out. We got 300, 300, 600, 600, 549, another 5, and a couple more 6s. So I'm going to pick everything in the 600s. So I'm going to pick this one for 682 a foot, this one for 603 a foot, this one for 643 a foot, and this one for 644 a foot. So I picked 4 comps here, all in the 600s. And what it does here is you can see it readjusts my value based on the comps I selected. So it's taken those 4 comps and it's going to average them out per foot, and then it's going to take my square footage of 736 and give me an ARV of 471. Now, is this super accurate? No, because I'm not actually looking at these comps for relevancy. I've created some basic filters and I'm picking the top 4 highest sold homes per foot, which means those are probably ARV, they're probably renovated homes because they're the highest sold homes. And so that's it. Like, literally want to take a couple minutes to do that is all. And then what I want to do is I want to text this agent, and typically what I'll do is I'll text the agent and say, hey, by the way, let's see who this agent is. So, well, let me go get, okay, let me slow down a second. Let me first text the agent. What I'd like to do is I like to text the agent and say, hey, can I call you in 5 minutes? I'm an investor, want to make a cash offer. And then I'll go in and comp it. So before I go through my deal analyzer, let's just go ahead and do that real quick. So we're at 471 on our number. And then what I want to do is I want to look up this agent. So if I go back to the property, and right here's this agent, Jennifer Porter, and it's not giving me a phone number. So typically with Propwire, we can get the phone numbers. We gather that data, which means now I'm going to have to go and Google her, and she's with Remax Alliance. So I would go up here and I would Google Jennifer Porter, Remax Alliance, and that's in probably Denver. So I'll put Denver, and what I want to do is I want to find her. This looks like her right here. And I'm on Remax's website, and look, here's a phone number, and then I'm going to go ahead and text her, and I'm going to text her and basically say, hi Jennifer, I'm an investor looking to make a cash offer on your listing on, what was it, Niagara, on Niagara. Can I call you in 5 minutes? Send. Okay, and it went through, and it's in blue, so I know it's an iPhone. So now I know I've got her phone, which is great. So I got the right number. Can I call you in 5 minutes? I'm a cash buyer. And then what I do is, now that I've got the text sent, I want to go ahead and comp my property. So I started to comp it before texting her. That's why I'm telling you that's what I'm doing. And look, she just replied yes. So yes, so she said I can call her in 5 minutes. So this is awesome, because now I know the agent's waiting for my phone call. And going back, we had a 471 on our ARV. So I'm going to go over to my deal analyzer and let's fill this out. So we are 736 square feet, and we want to bring this in. It was coming in the 600s. And what I say, 471. So we're going to bring this up to 471 as our ARV. There we go. We're not real sure what the rehab is, so we'll probably put this thing at 50,000 for now until we gather some more information, because it did not have pictures on the Propwire. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. The other thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and Google the address and look at it on Redfin, because maybe there's pictures there, or Realtor.com, or some other place. But for now, let's just throw in a $50,000 rehab, assuming it needs a lot. We can always adjust that. And then I'm going to go down here and probably put my numbers at 9% closing, 6% carry, and a 10% profit. Brings it in about 47, and a $15,000 wholesale. So it puts me at 288. And maybe that's a good number. So just gives me a ballpark idea of where I want to be. And and I may even need to be lower if we're going to go with a bigger rehab. So I got to kind of get my head around the rehab. Let's actually go ahead and see if we can see this on Redfin. Give us an idea of what's going on. So I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to actually take our address of from Propwire, and let's go ahead and look at this on Redfin and see if it shows us pictures. Okay, so here we are, and yes, we've got some pictures, and this is helpful because you can see here that it definitely needs a full rehab. So this would gut the kitchen, new floors. Looks like they did some new tile in this bathroom. And here we go. This is a basement, guys. I can tell this is a basement. There's your window. I don't know if that's egress. And there's your bedrooms so that's how they're doing this. And Redfin is actually calling this more square footage. So that's great. That lets us know. And I would probably bump my rehab up a little bit because that thing's going to need every bit of, I don't know, 60,000. So yeah, that brings me down to about a 278 on my ARV. Okay, so now let's call her and see where we can get. And by the way, it's listed at 349. So we're a little ways off, which is pretty normal. Let's call this agent now and see what's going on.
Good morning, this is Jen.
Yes, hi Jen. My name's Jerry, calling you about your property on Niagara. Do you have a second?
I do.
Okay. What can you tell me about this? What's going on here? It looks like it needs a lot of work.
That's about all I can tell you about it. I don't know a whole lot about the property. It was a rental for years, and it's been vacant for about a year.
Okay.
And they just don't want to be in the rental business anymore.
Okay. Tired landlord.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this, and is this on a basement?
Yes, there is a basement.
And are they counting bedrooms down there, or how are they treating that space?
Yeah, so they're non-conforming bedrooms.
Right. So those aren't egress. There's no egress windows or anything.
No egress windows. There is closets.
Okay, so tell me how they do it there in the Denver metro area. Are you allowed to count the square footage, or is it really like 750 square feet with a basement?
No, you're allowed to count the square footage. It counts as you got finished square footage, you got main square footage of the home, and then you have basement square footage, and then you have basement unfinished and basement finished. So that's how they do it in Colorado.
But you can count, if it's finished, you can count it in the total square footage?
Yes.
Okay. Because like I'm from Michigan. In Michigan, they would say, 750 square feet with another 750 finished basement, but they wouldn't add the two together.
Right. So they keep them. So here in Colorado, they've got them separated and added together.
Okay. But really, I would comp this against another house under 1,000 square feet, right?
It would just depend on how you did it. Like these owners are looking at possibly doing the remodel themselves. So they're looking at, if they don't replace any of the windows, then it's still grandfathered into the old school non-conforming bedrooms, and the square footage will still count. But they are getting pricing on installing egress windows.
Yeah.
So that way they do a full-on 4-bedroom, 2-bath.
Okay. So if you put in egress windows, you technically could call it a 4-bedroom.
Well, yeah. And then finish the bathroom off downstairs, which is roughed in. And then you'd have a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. So then you'd be comping anywhere between $420 and $450 over there.
Okay. So that changes things. So then let me so I looked at it like just looking at stuff in the area that was, under 1,000 feet. So if I don't do that and I look at stuff that's more like 12 to 1,500, then how does that impact things? So, right?
Right.
So you're probably looking at, like I'm looking at a couple comps here. Let's see. Like here's one that sold for $322 a foot and $320, another one for $320 a foot, and those are 12 and 15. So maybe $320 a foot is what something is selling over there at?
Yeah.
So here, bear with me a second. I'm just kind of adjusting my numbers. let me put 320 a foot and call this thing, what would we call it? 1450 square feet?
Yeah, I would just say 1,400 just to keep it.
Okay, so 1,400 square feet at 320 a foot, and again, that's just a quick. I just saw a couple of quick comps that sold for one at 320, one at 322, or something like that. So that's 450 on the back end, like fixed up.
Right.
Does that sound about right in that neighborhood?
Yes, that's what we were looking at as well.
Okay, so that's right aligned with what you're thinking too. And okay, so then if I factor in, closing costs, commissions, financing, and profit, just kind of running my numbers, I need to be I've got a number here. It's all, for me, it's all just math, nothing. It's non-emotional because I'm looking at it to flip. I think I'm looking at this to flip, not rent. Is that the ideal scenario there, or do you think this is going to sell to another landlord?
I've had it both. I have offers right now both ways.
The buy and hold guys can pay more, right?
Well, it just depends. I mean, everybody wants to try to be as competitive as possible.
Right.
So I mean, we've got offers as low as 290 where the owners are absolutely not, and then we have offers at asking, which are conventional loan.
But it won't get a conventional loan.
It could. I don't see why it wouldn't. The structural's fine. The only issue would be the non-operating windows.
Yeah, but okay. I mean, this thing looks kind of rough. I don't know how that would pass a conventional loan, but maybe.
Yeah.
Well, then why haven't?
Would be the operable windows.
So let me ask you a question, Jen. Why have they not taken an offer at asking price?
Just with we have them sitting. We're sitting on hand right now, where they're deciding which direction they want to go.
So you're sitting on offers, and you're trying to decide which one to take.
The owners are discussing back and forth right now which direction they want to go with, going with a loan or taking a cash offer.
Yeah.
Some offers have already been told absolutely not because they're too low.
And those are around 290.
They haven't even considered one under 320.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'm one of those guys way down there at the low end.
Yeah.
Because
will be upfront and honest about it ahead of time.
Well, I just shoot straight. I don't mean to be. Hopefully, it's not personal, but I just. No. For me, I run the numbers. If I can get a great deal that makes sense, where I can fix it up, make a profit, then I'll do it. I do look at it from the buy and hold perspective too, because you spend a whole lot less if you're going to just rent it out, and you treat the numbers a lot differently. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I'm also unrepresented, Jen, so I'd let you write for me. Are you able to do that? Represent both sides?
Yes.
Okay. And we're looking to buy here in the Denver metro market. If you run across anything else like this, give us a call. We're cash. We can close quick. We're easy to work with, as is, all the things. Do you run across stuff like this often?
Not too often, but there is quite a few in this neighborhood. So we're getting a lot of attention just having the sign in the yard. It's wild
from other sellers, you mean?
Yeah, from other homeowners over there.
Yeah, if you do, tell them, say, hey, I got an investor. Let's talk numbers, and then you don't. I would prefer that. Then I can get you a number, and we don't have to compete with the market if it's the number the seller wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah, because I'm more interested in creating a long-term relationship with you than anything else. I realize I'm way under on this one, so it's not going to fit. Because I'm less than your 290 offers.
Yeah.
To flip it.
I think once they have the money to invest, so that's their big thing, is they're not in a hurry, and they have the funds. Yeah,
they're sitting good.
Themselves. So they're like, we don't want to, we understand investors want to make their money on the flip, but we're not going to leave that much on the table.
Yeah, they're not going to give it away, which makes sense. That's good for them. If they're not in that distressed situation, they can hold out for a higher number. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was really helpful talking this through to you because I kind of can see where the opportunity is with it and different options.
For sure, yeah.
If something happens where, it falls through or they're ready for like a cash offer, let me know and we can revisit it.
Okay, I will, for sure.
Okay.
And I'll save your
save my number, because you're going to run across something like this again. I know it. And then call me when you do.
Okay, I will.
All right. Thanks, Jen. Nice meeting you.
You're welcome.
Okay, see ya.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so great call. Textbook, kind of how you would expect it to go. And notice that I was able to get her to reveal information. So one of the things that I'm always trying to do when I talk to agents is get them to talk, get them to share, help me understand what's going on. Now, again, part of the challenge I have doing this show is I'm calling in random markets that I don't actively invest in. So I have to very quickly get my head around what's going on and try to understand the market. If you're in this market, if you're in this Denver market, you have to make it your business to know your market inside and out. In the markets where I actively invest, I know exactly what's going on, what the opportunities are, how things are looked at. But, I hope you leaned on this or gleaned from this that you don't have to be a market expert to still have a highly intelligent conversation with an agent. So I said to her, tell me how they're counting this basement. I'm revealing to her that I don't know what's going on in that market. Like, she's thinking to herself, okay, this guy's clearly not active here, or he would know how we handle square footage and basements and stuff. But it's okay, because I can just tell her, look, I'm confident in what I'm doing. I'm not real familiar with how they're doing that here. If she were to say to me, well, don't you invest in Denver? I would say, you know what, we're new to the market, but we plan on buying a lot of properties here. So I'm just trying to learn. Help me understand. Nothing wrong with saying that, right? Like, that comes across confident still, even though you don't know things. I see a lot of people, and every time I coach my adult kids on this, because they're learning the business, I coach my students on this, and I see them try to be what they're not. I see them try to talk like they know things that they don't know. They'll be like, yeah, well, we do a lot of deals when they don't do a lot of deals. Don't do that. Just be really honest, really open with where you're at. And agents aren't going to judge you for that. And if they do, who cares, right? Just be who you are. Be honest about where you're at in your journey. If you're brand new and it's your first deal, say, I plan on doing a lot of deals in this market. I plan on doing 12 to 15 deals this year or in the next year. And I want to create a relationship with you so I can buy homes ongoing. And that's the truth, I hope. I plan on doing deals, because you wouldn't be doing this if you don't plan on doing deals. And that comes across more authentic. Okay, so just keep that in mind there. Like, I'm okay to reveal to her that I don't know everything, but I want to know. But I know enough to ask the right questions. The key to this is knowing what questions to ask. If you ask a question and they answer it and you don't understand their answer, ask another follow-up question. Don't just move on and assume that you know whatever they said when you don't. So like, I asked her, I'm like, well, what do you mean by the bedrooms? And I kept asking follow-up questions so that I could understand. So then I said, okay, are you trying to tell me that if it had egress windows that we could count all that square footage? And she's like, yes. And that makes sense. Egress windows mean that it passes code. It has a closet. A bedroom has to have egress window and a closet to count as a bedroom. So she's saying if you add the egress windows, we add all the square footage. So notice that I had to redo our analysis, because originally I was looking at it like a 750 square foot house. Well, with that information, knowing that I can add the egress windows in my rehab, now all of a sudden it changes everything. I'm adjusting my numbers, and now I'm using the new information I gathered to reevaluate the deal. It still meant that I had to be, way under, way under where they're at, but that's okay. Also notice that I still made the offer without making the offer. Meaning, she said we had some low offers at 290. Now, instantly when I hear 290, what that's telling me is, okay, well, there's investors in the market willing to pay 290. I'm at 250. I could probably be at 270 and wholesale to the person at 290. Meaning, I'm off on my numbers. I'm too low to get a deal done. How do I know that? Because she's revealing information. Now, that's why I switched focus a little bit and started talking about a rental. A flipper can't pay $290 and make money. There's just no way, because we looked at the numbers. But a buy and hold might go in there and spend next to nothing and throw a tenant in there and call it a day. So they could pay more. So be sure to think about this also from the perspective of a buy and hold investor if it's a market that could support that. Okay, so I hope you got some good nuggets out of that, got some good input from that, and more than anything, just it's all about the reps, it's all about practicing, it's all about asking the right questions at the right time and with the right tonality. Meaning, are curious, be challenging. Sometimes I'll be confrontational if I need to be, right? And I'm just trying to create this conversation that leads to information that will help me make an intelligent offer. Okay, that's kind of the point with that. And guys, I want to let you know too about a special offer that we're doing with Propwire. Right now you can get 2,500 skip traces a month for $97 a month. So you're getting about $300 of skip tracing for only $97. It's an awesome promo. We're losing money doing it, but if you're active in the business, we want to give you that service. That allows you to get the phone numbers so that you can call sellers direct. We're doing this with agents, but you can use the data and also skip trace, get phone numbers, and call and text sellers directly and see if you can get deals that way as well. So that's called Propwire Gold. Just go to propwiregold.com and you can sign up for that promo. Again, 2,500 skip traces a month for only $97 a month. Amazing deal. You guys should check that out. And I'll see you on the next video.